Welcome to Beyond Measure. This is Make the Cut software, and I have enlarged 3 different shapes of tags and labels that I found in the gallery. I have each in a smaller and a larger size. Then I cut it on my super awesome Zing by Click and Cut. This is a piece of 6 inches wide tool that I cut, and this is how you create a little scalloped edge. You fold it in half by 3 and then trim it. See, it just looks so lovely. Now it's time to cut the foundation of our card at 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And next we'll need to cut our Add a Little Dazzle gold medal at 4 by 5 3/8 inches. And this 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of cardstock is to stabilize the metal. Feast your eyes on the Sizzix Texture Boutique embossing machine. That combined with the gold medal from Add a Little Dazzle inside of the Sizzix Damask embossing folder makes for a beautiful background on our card. To adhere our metal to the stabilizing layer of cardstock, we'll use some 2-sided or double-sided tape from Oriental Trading. Adhere around the edges, then remove the pink film and adhere to the cardstock, pressing firmly but gently around the edge so as not to punch out the embossing. Time to plug in the hot glue gun. This is a basic hairspray with a bit of water and glitter. I sprayed it on the tool, adding some Sugar Simmer by Donna Salazar. I wanted to do a bit of an experiment with this. I'm using peeled paint in Distress ink and clear embossing ink that is also Distress ink to put underneath my Gold Ranger embossing powder. I wanted to see the color differentiation that it would bring. Now, upon heating it, the one with the green underneath really was just a little bitty bit brighter than the other. So I felt like it matched my gold medal better. So that's the one I chose to use. Use your embossing buddy over your smallest label. Ink up your Baby Jesus and Lamb stamp by Dragonfly Laser with the super awesome Distress ink by Tim Holtz and peeled paint, and then sprinkle the Ranger embossing powder atop, being careful not to remove any of it upon handling. Then heat it up. Now we're inking around the edges of our labels. First I used old paper and then I used Walnut Stain Distressing by Tim Holtz. I love this embossing folder. It's so elegant. It's the same one that I used a moment ago. Now we're embossing our larger label in the Damask by Sizzix embossing folder. We need to add some dimension, so we're using the Zotz 3D glue dots to adhere Baby Jesus to the larger label. Because he is the light of the world, we need to add a little bit more shimmer, right? This is the Scrap Happy sheer glue. I'm going over the raised areas of my embossed mat with the glue, and I formed a little bit of a halo over Jesus's head. Allow to dry until tacky. Now take your tool and gently tie it around and adhere in the center with hot glue. But tie it around your metal sheet and the little piece of stabilizing cardstock. Next, be sure to sand to enable the aluminum to show through so beautifully. Fold your 5.5 by 8.5 lengthwise in half and use a bone folder to crease it. Using the Scotch ATG gun and a bit of hot glue, we're going to adhere our mat to the front of our card. Sprinkle some of the beautiful Donna Salazar fairy dust glitter in Sugar Shimmer on the Scrap Happy sheer glue, rubbing it in and dusting away where the adhesive is not located. If your tool is not setting where you would prefer, then touch it up with some hot glue. making sure that it will be covered by your focal label. Oh my goodness, we're using all kinds of things on this one. Use some foam tape from Big Lots, my 3D Zots glue dots. Oh, I did a double layer of the foam tape. And I'm also going to put a dot of hot glue in the center to be able to stick thoroughly to the front of our card. Do you remember our little experiment with the sentiment by layers of color art stamps by Nina Brackett? Well, we're using the one with peeled paint underneath, and I just cut it close, no certain measurement, and then I dovetailed the edges and inked around them a bit, using my scissors to somewhat curl it, so to speak, like you do curly ribbon. And now we're going to use this Scrap Happy sheer glue on one end, in which is going to touch the baby Jesus image, and then I'm using triple foam tape little pieces on the other side. Last but certainly not least, we're going to cut our inside piece out of white cardstock at 4 by 5 1/4 inches. Then adhere. I think I want to use one of those beautiful stamps by Nina Brackett again. This one says, "From our family to yours." And once again, I used the peeled paint Distress Ink by the awesome Tim Holtz, along with the Ranger Gold embossing powder. And this is our completed project. Hallelujah, Christ is born, and you are his princess or his prince. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed beyond measure.